Hey everyone, before we get started with today's video, if you forgot to use a referral code when you signed up for Uber to get your bonus or guarantee of up to $1,000, then here's how to apply my referral code so you can still get some extra money. Here's the steps. So 1, open the Uber app. Next, click your photo or the 3 lines at the top corner. Click earnings. Click help or question mark. Click account and payment. Then referrals. And this step is really important. Click invited driver, report my missing or incorrect driver referral. And then click send a message. And for the invite code, use G4QA5UE. Friend's name, yours truly, Gregory Wave. GREGORYWAVE, like wave. The phone number is 815-847-0184. And the email is gregwave@yahoo.com. And for the details, you can just say something like, my good friend Gregory referred me to drive for Uber. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. My name's Greg. Hope you guys are doing good. So what I'm doing is I'm getting you guys a quick update on the mainly affecting California drivers. A lot of you guys have followed kind of that, I guess, political case involving Uber and Lyft with, this has been going on for forever, basically them not treating us as employees. So the last thing we kind of found out was that Uber and Lyft were making an appeal, basically saying, hey, we're not a taxi cab company, we're a technology platform, therefore we don't need to treat anyone as employees, was kind of like the last thing we heard. And California basically was like, yes, you do. So they argued that, well, we can't just have, I don't know what the number was, like 50,000 drivers overnight turn into employees. We don't have the cash flow for that. So this is kind of the latest update on that whole messy, funky scenario. All right. An appeals court has allowed ride-hailing giants Uber and Lyft to continue treating their drivers as independent contractors in California while an appeal works its way through the court. Both companies had threatened to shut down if a ruling went into effect Friday morning that would have forced them to treat all their drivers as employees, a change they said would be impossible to accomplish overnight. And I agree with that. I've really been unsure where I stand on this whole thing, because I get the push to be treated like employees thing, but if that works out, we would get stripped of all the freedoms that we love about Uber and Lyft. So I don't really think it's a solution. I think, given how the last 6 months has been, I think most people have just wigged out by the fact that we don't get health benefits of any kind. And I get that, but it's kind of the life of an entrepreneur. I chose Uber and Lyft because I wanted the freedom. Like, that was the only reason I started doing it, is I wanted to be able to do my own thing. I don't look at Uber and Lyft as something you do for the money. I don't look at it as something you do for the opportunity. I look at it as it's something you can do so that you can do everything else you want to do. Start a business, have more time with your family, whatever it is, like, that's what it's good for. You're not signing up for a career. It's called a gig for a reason. So I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't care for the benefits. Unless it somehow meant that we still keep all our freedom, but I just don't see how that would happen. Alright, so Lyft told riders and drivers in a Thursday blog post that it planned to discontinue providing riders in California just before midnight tonight, unless the court grants a stay in a pending case. Uber CEO Dara, y'all know his last name, had repeatedly said its service would have no choice but to stop providing rides in California if the state's law goes into effect, because the company can't afford to hire 50,000 drivers, I was right, as employees quickly enough to comply. So basically what he's saying there is he's like, look, I can't take 50,000 people and all of a sudden be giving them benefits, minimum wage, and all the other stuff. It costs a lot of money to do that. One of the articles I'd read like months and months and months ago was from Uber, basically saying like, look, if we wanted to turn everyone into an employee, it would up their operating costs by like 20% or something like that. And you got to keep in mind, like, both Uber and Lyft neither company has really done well. They've grown, but in terms of profit, they haven't done well. Most quarters, especially now, it usually looks pretty rough for them. So to tell a company like that, you're going to raise your operating costs 20%, and in return, we're not really getting anything out of it besides being allowed to keep doing business. You know, I actually kind of sympathize with them there. Shutdown would have been a major blow to two companies that still haven't proven they can make money, even as they have held down their expenses by treating drivers as independent contractors who don't receive the same benefits as their full-time employees. California represents a substantial chunk of both companies' businesses. It accounted for 9% of Uber's worldwide rides before the pandemic caused people to avoid traveling. You got to think, like, 10% of your total rides, like, that's a lot of money. I mean, it's California too. That's like, you just naturally can almost assume that more rides are given there than anywhere. The hub is pretty much San Francisco. The state is even more important to Lyft, which doesn't operate outside of the US besides Canada. California accounted for 21% of Lyft's rides before the pandemic, but that figure dropped to 16% during the April-June period as more people stayed at home and there were few places to go. I could see this being the beginning of Lyft being nothing anymore. 20% is a huge loss. If that happens, they're done for. The unavailability of the two ride-hailing services also would have delivered another blow to the California economy by taking away the paychecks of Uber and Lyft drivers while also making it more difficult for people without cars to get around. That's why the mayors of San Diego and San Jose, California, two of the three largest cities in the state, joined forces this week, urging the appeals court to block the law from going into effect. And that's, you know, another side of this thing that I understand. Like, I actually get that. Usually I hate just about everything that Uber and Lyft decide to do, but I think I'm actually on their side for once. Both companies had sought the stay of an August 10th court decision that ruled they must start treating their drivers as employees, not independent contractors, by Friday morning. Both appealed and sought a stay on the decision. Yeah, so basically they're fighting for life right now is all that this article is really saying. I mean, I just don't see how Lyft would survive. Even for Uber, that's a huge, huge, huge blow. I mean, 10% to a company that's pretty much in debt all the time. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money that they already have to pay back. And blah, 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 blah. What was that? I missed that. Companies are hoping to overturn the California law underlying the lower court decision with a ballot initiative in the upcoming election. Uber and Lyft are among the biggest contributors to a $110 million effort to get the initiative. Proposition 22 passed to rescind the law. Lyft urged for passage of the initiative in its blog post. At issue is a decision that could reshape the so-called gig economy as drivers, delivery workers, and others who work for popular apps on an as-needed basis seek improved working conditions and whoa, that sentence sounded really weird. And others who work for popular apps on an as-needed basis seek improved working conditions and benefits that many in the workforce enjoy. And again, like, see, to me, this is just a really big, like, pick your poison thing, because I get what so many of you are thinking with the benefits, but I'm telling you it won't be worth the trade-off. I mean, a lot of the stuff that could happen is you might get capped at like 12, 13 an hour. You might be forced to work certain areas, X amount of hours per day. You might have to pick shifts. You might have to pick locations. It's not a good solution. It's not what you guys want. I just can't see how it would be. I like the ability to work when I want, drive the best hours I can, and have the ability to make over 20 an hour if I want to. And if I'm capped, I would probably never give another ride again. So I don't know what a lot of these people are thinking that are like begging for this, because this would ultimately this would be the demise of Uber and Lyft for one. But even if it wasn't, I mean, the way I'm looking at it, I feel like the app would start to suck. I feel like both Uber and Lyft would just lose its value. And a lot of the good reasons why you can do it, like having the freedom to go to school, start a business, start a band, literally do whatever you want. That was always the beauty of this to me, is I can get my bills paid and pursue my dreams. There's nothing else you can really do that with. I mean, besides some of those other apps we've talked about, but let's be honest, are they any good? So that's pretty much what I got for you guys. This article is actually a lot longer, but it's a lot of fluff just talking about the case. So basically where we're at now is there's been an appeal, and we'll see what happens from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Definitely check out the referral code if you haven't ever tried that. A lot of people are making great money off that right now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.